Good morning, insiders. Welcome to another Monday download. This is going to be a practical download today. Not going to have a lot of tips and techniques and a lot of high-level stuff, what's going on out there in the short sale world. We're going to drill it down to some really important pieces that if you've been with us for a while, you've heard about, but it probably has been a long time. You might have missed some of the changes that we've had in the last year, some of those conference calls. So I pulled out some of the most common errors that I'm seeing or old documents that people are still using and bringing it up on this call. And the purpose of that is because we want to streamline and make your job in the short sale part of things easier. If you're using old documents, you're making more work for yourself. If you're not using some of our cheat sheets, some of our checklists, then you're making more work for yourself. And short sales have enough work as it is. So in my opinion, anything we can do to help you and your team, your office, we want to do that. So let's jump in. Let's get down to work on this. All right, first document. Let's talk about kind of first section, old forms that have either been changed or modified in some way. Short sale submission sheet. Some of you have never seen this before. And the reason that you haven't seen this is because you're not printing it off of the Insider Network to use it, or you're not using it off of your document disk. So we're going to go through this real quick. This has been just recently modified, but it's basically the same. Top information is kind of your information, property information, title and closing office information. This is important information that we're going to need. If you don't use this form, then you have to let us know somehow. So my recommendation is that you use this form every single time you send in a submission of a short sale, that this is your cover sheet. Obviously, if you don't have it, we're going to still process the file, but this makes sure you know you have all the stuff that you need and you're not going to be going back and forth to your seller. And that's one of the things that we find happening a lot, is that agents are sending a document here and there, and then we're having to say, okay, we've got these 2 documents, here's the 8 documents that you need to get us. And then we get another couple documents, and we say, okay, we got these documents, but we still need these other 6. So just really valuable for the agents that are really have it on lockdown in their process. They've got their system where they gather everything they need from their seller, and the real good ones won't even put it on the market until they get what they need from their seller, because they need some leverage to get the items from their seller. And if you've been doing short sales very long, you know that it's challenging to get documents from your seller. And then they send it all in, and they use this as their cover sheet. And then we know, and they know, that everything that's on here is part of the package, or at least they've checked it off. The cool thing there is that if something's checked off on this list, but we don't have it in the documentation, then we know that it probably just got lost in the fax. The fax machine took 2 pages at once or something like that. So this is really helpful. Top information is great. Number 2 is document submission. So these are the following documents that we need to have to open your file. Get this stuff to us at the time you're getting your listing pulled together. If we don't have these documents, if we don't have the whole list of documents and an offer comes in, we can't send that offer to the bank. Now, our goal when we get an offer is to get it out the door within 24 hours. And sometimes we have to get specific lien information on assessments or sewers that might take a few business days. And those kind of things, just, we try to keep it as short as absolutely possible. But if you're sending your offer in at the same time that you're sending in your initial opening documentation, guess what? It's going to be a week to 2 weeks before we can get that offer out the door. And the reason is you're not giving us the time to get our authorizations on file, to get payoffs from the bank. There's a whole bunch of information while you're marketing the property for sale, and a whole bunch of tasks that our office is doing just internally to get that short sale package ready to be able to submit when an offer comes in. So best practice is, as you list the property, get the entire document submission section. So number 2 on your checklist, get all of it over here. Number 3 is offer document submission. So these are the things that you need to put together when you actually have an offer, and there are a couple of financial forms that we have you gather from your seller when you get the offer. There's no reason to send it in up here because it could be months before an offer comes in. They'll be outdated and you'll have to get them again anyway. So don't send them in until you're down in this section. If you really just printed this out and followed it every time you submitted your offers into our office, it really will help you streamline your process. All right, enough said about short sale submission sheet. I'm going to email all of this to you, by the way, so that you have all of these. But again, another best practice. Get on the website when you get a short sale listing, go into the Insider Network, go into the Alliance forms, print out all the forms that you need from that the website there. That way you know you absolutely have the most updated documentation. Closing instructions. This is something that that we did a conference call on back in the fall. Let's just look at it real quick. We got a whole section here on big CYA stuff for you and for us, for your buyer. Also, you know that we're licensed agents now, and so we have our disclosures for agency information. So that's all in here. Those are the biggest changes. I did hear from a buyer's agent. Actually, I was sitting down with a buyer's agent for coffee the other day, and he brought up to me that one of the biggest hurdles he has is a $500 fee that his buyer has to sign to be willing to pay at closing if there's additional fees on the HUD. I went back to take a look at it, and I was like, wow, I can't believe we still have that in our stuff because we never ever do anything with that. And the reality is that's been off of the closing instructions for about a year now. So somebody's out there using old documentation and making it more difficult for them to get a buyer on board because of the documents, and we have already modified it because we knew that was a challenge for buyers, and we got rid of it. So make sure you're using the right stuff. It's going to make your life easier and make you get, help you get better offers, more offers. All right, seller's short sale agreement. This is another new document that came out last fall. This is a great talking point. If nothing else, it makes sure that you don't miss some of the big pieces when you're sitting down with your seller. Bankruptcy, make sure you're bringing it up. It's a place for them to initial. It says they're not filing bankruptcy, because if they do, it's going to screw up your short sale. Legal counsel. We talked about how we want our sellers to at least have the opportunity, but we highly encourage them to talk with an attorney. We even help pay for that. All right, utility bills, HOAs, the importance of those, making sure they get those paid. Critical information, have them sign it. That's on the short sale submission sheet. Authorizations. Authorizations can change whenever we have staffing changes. Obviously, we don't like to have staffing changes, but periodically that happens and has just recently happened. So all of your authorization forms are out of date now. They have old people's names on it and not the new people's name on it. So get on the website, print those off. Anytime we have a form change, we're going to email it to you, absolutely. But it is helpful if you just go to the website and print it from there. You'll know that you always have the most up-to-date document. Exhibit C, get rid of them. We're not going to ask for them anymore. It's overkill. It's duplicated information now that we made changes to the closing costs, or the closing forms. So get rid of that. A couple of new forms. Well, I guess I already started on the new forms. The short sale agreement. We talked about that. We also have the attorney review form. If you're not familiar with the attorney review process or the form itself and why and when that would be happening, I did 2 conference calls last fall. One of them is called Don't Be Practicing Law Without a License, and the other one is Updated Documents 2010. So if you go into that, it's going to go through the short sale agreement and the attorney review document. So those are a couple of phone calls that I would highly recommend you go listen to on the web. The other call, and this is totally unrelated to paperwork, the other call is the one that we just did last Wednesday on the BPO, Enhanced BPO Strategy, and that's a brand new call up there. Check it out, listen to it, highly valuable. I can't stress that enough. We were all blown away by the information that Todd brought to us in that conference call. So get on there and listen to it. All right, so those are the big items. Those are the items that I'm seeing the most frequently causing things to slow down. If I say one thing, I know this short sale submission sheet for some of you is just like an additional piece of paperwork. I don't need this. I just want to highly encourage you to get all of the paperwork from your seller at the beginning of the process when they're motivated to list and sell the property, rather than waiting till it's been on the market for several months and their motivation level has fallen down. Get it all, get it to our office so that we can put it from the opening status into a no offer pending status, waiting for an offer, because then you know we've got everything that we need. So enough said. I'm not going to harp on that anymore. We just want to help you, help your process, and continue to get more short sales approved. And the quicker we can get offers out to the bank, then the better we can do getting approvals and keeping buyers on board. So, all right, good luck with your short sales this week. send me questions. You can shoot me an email. You can call the office and they can get you through to me, and we can strategize around your short sale transactions. Everybody have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.